Today I'd like to share some reflections on deepening one's understanding. I'm grateful for the continuous protection, instruction, and nourishment from the Buddhas and ancestors and bodhisattvas, and from the guidance and inspiration and support from Venerable Master Daishin, from Master Jiyu, and all the monks and laity here at the Abbey and the OBC, just to name a few. Excuse me. And a special thanks to Great Master Dogen, Bhikkhu Bodhi, Thanissaro Bhikkhu, and Talen Kaingong. Excuse me. I'd like to offer the merit of this talk today to all things without exception. There's a surplus of merit that fills the universe, and I pray that all the Buddhas who have become enlightened will lead us in such a way that we may share this merit. The unsurpassed, penetrating, and perfect truth is seldom met with, even in 100,000 myriad kalpas. Now we can see and hear it. We can remember and accept it. I vow to make the Buddha's truth one with myself. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dharma, homage to the Sangha. Today I'd like to start with a Jataka tale called The Baby Quail Who Could Not Fly Away. Excuse me. It's about power of truth, wholesomeness, and compassion. Once upon a time, an enlightenment being was born in a tiny quail. Although he had little feet and wings, he could not yet walk or fly. His parents worked hard, bringing him food to the nest, feeding him with their beaks. Excuse me. In that part of the world, there were usually forest fires every year. So it happened that a fire began in that particular year. All the birds who were able to fly flew away at the first sign of smoke. As the fire spread and got closer and closer to the nest of the baby quail, his parents remained with him. Finally, the fire got so close that they too had to fly away to save their lives. All the trees, big and small, were burning and crackling with loud noises. The little one saw that everything was being destroyed by the fire that raged out of control. He could do nothing to save himself. At that moment, his mind was overwhelmed by a feeling of helplessness. Then it occurred to him, my parents loved me very much. Unselfishly, they built the nest for me and then fed me without greed. When the fire came, they remained with me until the last moment. All the other birds who could had flown away a long time before. So great was the loving kindness of my parents that they stayed and risked their lives, but still they were helpless to save me. Since they could not carry me, they were forced to fly away alone. I thank them, wherever they are, for loving me so. I hope with all my heart they are safe and well and happy. Now I am alone. There is no one I can go to for help. I have wings, but I cannot fly away. I have feet, but I cannot run away. But I can still think. All I have left to use is my mind, a mind that remains pure. The only beings I have known in this short life were my parents, and my mind has been filled with loving kindness towards them. I have done nothing unwholesome to anyone. I am filled with the newborn innocent truthfulness. Then an amazing miracle took place. This innocent truthfulness grew and grew until it became larger than the little baby bird. The knowledge of truth spread beyond that one lifetime, and many previous births became known. One such previous birth had led to knowing a Buddha, a fully enlightened knower of the truth, one who had the power of truth, the purity of wholesomeness, and the purpose of compassion. Then the great being within the tiny bird, that little tiny quail thought, May this very young, innocent truthfulness be united with the ancient purity of wholesomeness and the power of truth. May all birds and other beings who are still trapped by the fire be saved. Excuse me. And may this spot be saved from fire for millions of years. And so it was. The moral of this tale is truth, wholesomeness, and compassion can save the world. I find this story about one of the lives of the Buddhas very encouraging and inspirational. This little quail, this enlightened being, knew how to take the next step without being ready to walk yet. It is understandable to feel helpless after his parents had to leave him. And what an example he gives us, to use his mind to turn his thoughts to gratitude, loving kindness, and acceptance. You may have heard the rumor that the Buddha said, life is suffering. And living in the conditional world that we do, it is tempting to believe this rumor. However, what the Buddha taught us is the Four Noble Truths, where he said, there is suffering, there is a cause for suffering, there is an end to suffering, and there is a path of practice that puts suffering to an end. Lucky for all of us, we're on that path. The Buddha did not suggest that all life is suffering, but rather outlined the manner in which we invite so much suffering upon ourselves. The Buddha taught that sentient beings suffer because they do not realize their selves are empty. In Buddhism, we believe the concept of karma and rebirth offers a kind of view that may explain all manner of suffering for humans and other beings. The complex issues of karma basically forces one to be patient with the practice, which of course takes time. It takes the present moment, and it takes the process of developing skillfulness. The very movement of cultivating skillful intention comes more and more to the center stage in one's awareness the longer we practice. It begins with skillful action, or skillful karma, if you like, one trial and error at a time. The focus is on how, the input on how one's actions are fueling the cause, and we explore the connections between the skillful intentions and the favorable results. The first noble truth, simply put, is that clinging is suffering. It is because of clinging that physical pain becomes mental pain. The Buddha is teaching us how to free ourselves from the limitations of grasping and the need to obtain anything at all. The Buddha recommends the Noble Eightfold Path of practice to get rid of our blind spots. These blind spots are created by ignorance, which is the prime cause that gives rise to craving. The factor of the Noble Eightfold Path are right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. In short, abandon activities that hinder awareness and develop qualities to expand its clarity and range. Hold to skillful qualities and foster them until they mature. Mindfulness, concentration, discernment. One significant point of our spiritual practice is to learn to see things in a different way, a different light, to feel things in a different way, to see things as they truly are. I have received the advice to let it go countless times over the years. So I ask myself today, what is this letting go? It seems I must have something backwards or a little bit funny, since much of what I let go of neither went anywhere, or if it went anywhere, it came back pretty quick. the habits, the judgments, the tendencies, the proclivities, whatever you want to call them, they pop up here, there, over and over again, it seems. And it's very transitional constantly. We're always transitioning. All the while we're attempting to keep our balance, and we're picking ourselves up again and again. I'm speaking for myself. And I'm picking myself up, particularly when things didn't go so smoothly. And so my mantra lately is just take a deep breath, be still, and start again. The words let and go are very active words, and I'm exploring through the lens of karma while practicing the middle way. I found it helpful to think for myself, observe myself, so I may recognize particular habits and tendencies, and by doing so, find a way to act differently, a different manner, and become a different person. It allows me to change the cause of my karma, and it is invaluable to train with a master or a teacher and the Sangha. Paying close attention to the subtle and sometimes not so subtle feedback I am getting, and to be willing to listen, and to be willing to redirect the course of my actions. The self is a very slippery slope. It's invaluable, actually it's essential, to take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. You all know this already. The way to act in a more wholesome manner comes from within us. And it is there you will find the Buddhas, the ancestors, the precepts, Buddha nature, and the voice of the Eternal who speaks to all of us. Master Ji once said, enlightened action leaves no wake. It is valuable to deepen one's understanding of life and death. We suffer in this world because things change, and we do not change with it. Our thoughts are always changing. We're always in a we are always in a dynamic flux. Our daily lives and what we do as individuals will affect not only us, but other people, the world at large, and the universe. And we have a great choice, we have a real choice in all affairs. The Buddha presented suffering in a way that gives individuals a role to play in terms of the level, the intensity, and the degree to which they experience it. For the Buddha, the deeds we as individuals perform are the deeds we must bear responsibility for, not those of our family or society. Yet not everything we experience is due to karma. In the end, it is the way we deal with things that counts, which is a reflection of our character, of our integrity. It concerns looking at all aspects of ourselves and then working on those specific things, not turning away from looking at the things we'd rather not see within us. By being aware of the many things happening within us, it helps to build our character, and then we are able to act and respond nobly. Due to karma, we may not have many opportunities, but by doing what we currently do properly, we can create opportunities. Great Master Dogen talks about cause and effect in the Shobogenzo. And here's a kind of condensed version of what I have gleaned from him, and that is cause and effect are discrete moments, location in time and space. They're an intersection. They, cause and effect, occur just as they are, not in relation to events. Cause and effect are discrete and unique. They abide in their own place, their own Dharma position. Each moment, just as it is fully realized, completely one with everything, fully unhindered, completely empty. Cause in this sense is perfect and completely one with the way. Effect blooms in the cause, Each moment, each moment are cause and effect. Cause and effect are not continuous. Now cause, now there is effect. Each moment is cause-effect, in that each moment there is full realization of Buddha nature and is the realization of truth. By developing good character and cultivating the necessary mental and spiritual faculties, we become noble and lead dignified lives. The Buddha gave elasticity to the causal mechanism of karma, how karma operates. So there's a lot of give and play. It's not this rigid thing that I used to think about karma. I used to think that only a Buddha could understand it, and I think that is true. But there is something we as individuals can do about our own karma. An existing cause did not necessarily mean an effect would ensue or would ensue in the exact and direct proportion to the cause. Karma is just like a seed. If you're a gardener, you'll so get this picture. It is unpredictable. Whatever will happen to it, after the seed is planted, it's unpredictable what is going to happen to the plant. You can put it in the ground, you can put it into good soil, you can put it into bad soil. It may not sprout, it may grow up 10 feet tall. You just never know what's going to happen. The Buddha's teaching of karma does not involve acceptance of one's lot in life. It's not that simple. Karma is intended to encourage us. Yes, encourage us to think, I can become the person I want to be, and not dwell on what I already am. Going on, always becoming Buddha. We can develop much more wholesomely and thereby free ourselves from a variety of hindrances and constraints. It's my current understanding that it is what karma is about, freeing ourselves, creating transformation within us. This relates back to our feelings, our emotions, and personhood. I'm sure you've heard or experienced where there is a self, there is suffering. Karma means action which springs from our mind, from our body, and from our speech. Karma is dynamic and operates within a complex web that interconnects and affects all things within the universe, both animate and inanimate. For me, I'm focusing on deepening my understanding of the intricate, multifaceted relationship between cause and effect. Be with, deal with, here and now, compassionately. That's a big sentence for me. The Buddhist view is that life and death are inextricably bound to each other, moment by moment. Living in the present with awareness fundamentally connects us with appreciating impermanence. Along the middle way, I've come to appreciate and even welcome certain kinds of mistakes for all the new information that it brings to me. I've made a lot of mistakes, some repeatedly, and this is not a failure, but it acts as an assistant to get up and keep on the path. Get back on the path. No doubt it's desirable we create less and less karma as we go along, because even good karma is unable to produce total freedom. Cultivating equanimity is essential, and by training ourselves to have more wholesome thoughts, will allow and foster appropriate emotions and feelings to follow. We use our current karma to free ourselves of karma. I want to be like that little quail, with thoughts of gratitude, acceptance, and loving kindness. I want my purpose to be compassion. I want my purpose to be compassion. In closing, I'd like to share a reflection on the current. I don't know if it's a harmonic conversion or it might be a harmonic fusion of the Buddhist teachings that's integrating together within me. The Buddhist teaching of the Four Noble Truths, the Diamond Sutra with the Buddhist teaching on emptiness, wisdom, and the six paramitas, the Noble Eightfold Path, which is the way to the end of suffering, and the renewal of vows, which is the teaching of the Bodhisattva vows and the precepts. So here's one reflection I'd like to close with. The Buddha's first truth: there is suffering, suffering of all beings. The Bodhisattva vow: however innumerable beings may be, I vow to save them all. The truth of there is a cause of suffering, and we know this is accumulation of karma. The Bodhisattva vow: however inexhaustible the passions may be, I vow to transform them all. The truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, which reinforces beings to further practice on the path. The Bodhisattva vow: however limitless the Dharma may be, I vow to understand it completely. And the last truth of the cessation of suffering makes the potential for every being to attain Buddhahood. However infinite the Buddha truth is, however infinite the Buddha's truth is, I vow to realize it. The Four Noble Truths are the common connection among all Buddhists. They contain unity, even when there seems to be separation and or difference. May we and all living things walk on this noble eightfold path together. Thank you.